hope I have a lot of little basil. I've already bought some little plants.
They'll just pop up.
But they're so late when they do.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. Usually when they pop up, I've already got basil 3 feet tall. Yes, sir. That looks pretty fair. It's big. That damn place over there. Pretty amazing. That was all going to be trees this year if you hadn't chopped in there.
Yeah. Got you some more space now.
Just what I need. Camellia, Botanica, Althea
That's beautiful. How long has it been blooming?
Weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty.
Wind blowing.
Yeah.
Seedling hemlock from my big hemlock. It came up by seed.
Yeah. Spirea what?
Bridal wreath. Was here. Several hundred years old, probably.
Goodness.
Beautiful every year.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's the cherry laurel behind it. It's even pretty in bloom.
Yeah, you usually only see those in sandland.
I like that.
Like
and
out in...
bees love it.
It smells good too. I tried to eat one time. It's no good.
No. They're not good to eat.
These crepe myrtles are beautiful.
Yes, they are.
It's the largest crepe myrtle I think I've ever seen. Look how big this banana shrub is. I mean, this is a tree. It's not a shrub. I mean, that's ridiculous right there.
Would you like some crepe myrtle?
No, I'm good right now. What's that?
You want to take that to make something out of it? It's crepe myrtle.
No, I think I'm good.
It's 150 years old.
I don't know what I can make out of that.
I don't either. That's why I'm giving it to you. If I could figure something out, I'd do it for sale.
Everything's waking up.
Yeah.
How do you think it's gonna handle that 25-degree weather?
They're going to have a rude awakening.
Yeah, they are.
Around Good Friday.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be horrible. Everything's going to be killed. And it's really, now that everything is up so, it's really, it can actually kill things. Because it'll fracture the bark.
Yeah.
And this is the most dangerous thing of all.
What, a late frost like that?
A late freeze.
Well, it's not really late. We just had an early warm period.
Yeah, but
more than anything,
everything's already blooming and all.
Yeah.
If we have 28 degrees, it'll kill them dead.
I think it's calling for like 25. Yeah.
Kill them dead. Because their bark fractures, you see.
I like these little hemlock combs.
Oh yes, and they have seed, obviously, because hemlocks are coming up everywhere.
I think that's my favorite tree on your property, besides this one right here. Oh, that's pretty right there.
It's Camellia Botanical.
You talking about this one?
Mm-hmm. Isn't that the one you like?
I like the meditation one over there. I do like this one too, though. That's really pretty as well.
This is Camellia Botanical. And you see the deer have been a little bit of nibble.
I'm surprised they like that.
They're desperate.
For real.
They're desperate. You get desperate, you'll eat anything.
Hanging.
It's pretty. I like it too. Look at that pretty butterfly. Come on, butterfly.
That a monarch? That's beautiful.
Well, or the spirea.
I love that.
Well, it's a different, that spirea is a different variety. Now look at it. You can look at it and see. It's different. This is the true shoe button.
The leaves look a little different.
Well, look at the flowers. They're twice the size.
Oh, those bees.
This smells different. You see the size.
It's a little bigger, yeah.
Little. It's twice the size.
I don't know if I've ever seen this before.
That's because you're ignorant.
Excuse me.
It's because he's ignorant.
You know, I'm gonna go.
Like most people his age, they have nature deficit syndrome.
I don't think I have nature deficit.
No, this was only for the sake of the machine.
I love that.
Yeah, it's beginning to smell. It'll get to smell better once it warms up.
I like that succulent right there. Some sort of succulent?
Yeah. Yes, sir. The deer has just eaten everything. C.F. Hubby. Colonel Fiery, 1858.
Wow.
Got pretty up in there. It's got a slightly different form and it's actually prettier.
Yeah, it's not a little bit
Slightly
smaller.
different.
A little bit smaller too. Was that C.F.?
C.F. Hubby.
Is that a person?
Yeah.
That's a pretty tree right there. What is that?
Japan luster leaf holly.
Oh, is that a luster leaf?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen some of these wild, but they're not quite as big.
They're not. This is not native. It's Japanese.
I must have
It's a different kind of. Look at it. Isn't that pretty? Look up through there at it. It's happy.
Yeah, it likes that western shade.
Well, and the deer can't get to it. The deer eat this, but they can't get any higher.
Okay, this is what I was talking about. I used to call this this is a aqua something, right?
No, it's Mahonia aquafolia.
Yeah, aquafolia, yeah.
That's grape hyacinth. Not grape hyacinth. Grape holly leaf. What's it called? Grape holly leaf Mahonia. Grape.
Those berries are edible. They're not no good. They're not any good though.
Nasty.
They're gross.
But let's see what.
Going this way. You ever come sit right here?
Yes.
This is a nice shady spot.
Yeah. I need to get in here and sweep the leaves out. But
wow.
see what the deer did?
This is all over the ground.
Camellia.
Ate it up.
Well, I mean that's devastating. Look at that.
Yeah.
I hate them.
What is this tree? I feel every time I come here, this looks like a monkey puzzle or something.
No, monkey puzzle is in the same family, but that is called Cunninghamia.
Huh.
Cunninghamia lanceolata.
Look at that bark. That's the most beautiful bark I think I've ever seen.
I think it's pretty cool.
That is amazing.
But it's kind of hard to come out here to see what these deer are doing. I mean, you just have to be so thoughtful about that because they'll come back, hopefully. They don't.
You need a few more deer hunters.
Well, I know it. I want my hunters to kill more, but they won't. They just can kill so many and then they become illegal.
Yeah.
See what they've done here? They just ruined it.
Yeah.
This was so pretty. And that's one of the prettier camellias. It's called Georgetown Red.
Should still survive.
Oh, it will, but it's just hard to see it.
Yeah.
Because every leaf that comes off hurts it.
Smaller flowers on this one.
It hurts it. It's a cherry red color that I like a lot. Look what the deer did to the aspidistra.
Oh my goodness. Daggum psychopaths. Doesn't it suck you can't educate deer on what you have here?
No. Look at this. This
Look at those ferns.
one. This came from Maryboy Chestnut's front steps. Look what they did. And they even ate the branches on that.
That's amazing. They like to eat that.
Well,
it doesn't seem like
thank God. I mean, if it had been this size, it would have destroyed it.
Yeah.
So it's going to grow. It's been pruned now. They don't like pruning, but I mean they'll survive.
Yeah.
But
that's the prettiest protection basket I've ever seen.
Well, it was here on the place. There was probably 200 feet of this down
like
in the woods for the hogs and cattle.
Look how they made it though. I mean, it's so pretty.
1950.
Isn't it amazing? Like we went backwards.
They made things pretty.
Yeah.
Well, and you see, I'm making baskets out of it, but it ain't gonna help the deer now.
Yeah.
They'll stick their head in between it. This is the snowdrop.
You know, there's a whole word for people that are obsessed with snowdrops. They're called like gladiophiles or something. Yeah.
Well, there it is, and that was here. I didn't plant it. It's a little bit past time. And I gotta pick up all these stems, sticks, and stuff before the people who cut grass come. But I ain't gonna worry about it right now.
I can help you do that today.
Well, if you want.
Do you have a wheelbarrow?
No. Well, yeah, I do.
I'd say you need you a wheelbarrow.
It's not the kind of wheelbarrow you like, but look at this. Look at that. Now that's terrible.
They had a field day out here.
And look at the flower. Oh, so beautiful. And it would have probably had 100 of them on it. And the deer ate the buds and
What type is this?
It's a seedling. It doesn't have a name. What does it say?
Ballylee's Captain Dick.
I've named it.
Captain Dick.
After Captain Dick. But you see, that's the seedling. And so you can name seedlings because they don't come up true. This one is, I hate to even look at it. Oh, that was so full of buds and pretty. And this is one of my favorites, if I can show you. Another seedling.
Oh, that's nice. Real tight bud.
Mm-hmm. It's a seedling. It hasn't got a name except what I gave it.
What'd you give it?
I'd have to look it up, or it's on one of the tags. Let's see.
Beautiful. Where's the sun at?
I have a name for it, but I don't see my tag. Oh, I see it. I see the tag. Right there. Ballylee formal double, pink, and pink shades. I haven't named it. It's 13D. 13D.
13D.
Imagine there was a fawn who was trying to escape the coyotes, and he was hanging around the house for protection. So I don't resent the poor critter.
That's a pretty flower right there.
That is a beauty. And they didn't touch it for some reason.
They like this one.
They won't touch that because this poison. They know it. That's a Helleborus. 1 or 2 leaves of that would kill the deer. And they know it.
Got a pretty flower.
Yep.
It almost looks like a mayapple.
It does similar to what they did to that rare plant. Those 2 are very rare and they just ate it.
They didn't get the inside here though.
Thank God.
Roger something?
Yeah. Well, it's very rare. And I had one of the very few around. And they ate it. Full of buds. They just ate it.
That little bit of red in there is beautiful.
Mm-hmm. It's a seedling. This one they can't get to now because it's tall enough. So it's pretty. That's a South Carolina Camellia. Came from Magnolia Gardens.
Reverend John Drayton.
Who founded Magnolia Gardens. That's a Reverend John Drayton. That's a good example of a Reverend Drayton. It's a good, pretty example of the John Drayton. I'll tell you, there are gonna be people who want to see these camellias. You could sell the heck out of that.
I bet you could. Yeah.
These are camellia crazies around. Now this right here.
I think you might be one of them.
Oh, I love camellias. Look at the deer. I've never seen them eat a magnolia.
Magnolia.
Ate a magnolia leaf. Desperate, I guess.
Kumasaka.
Mm-hmm. And the deer ate everything they could get to.
Ooh! You just got a sword. You just decided to stab me.
No. This is a Magnolia Garden seedling that I bought.
Yeah.
A little single.
Mm-hmm.
Look what the deer did. Look what the deer did to that Magnolia seedling.
They had a good time out here.
Well, that little deer, little fawn, I'm sure, just savaged everything. And, you know, you work so hard, and one little animal can do that kind of damage.
I don't think it ended any of them permanently, though.
No, I don't think so either. It's just, you know, when you don't have that many years to live, you kind of would like to see it.
Yeah, that's pretty right there.
It is. That's the fresh new box.
The new growth on it?
This was one of my favorite camellias, and they really just did it in.
Oh, it's got a long, elongated bud.
Oh, God, it's pretty. You ought to see the real. That's Dr. Tinsley. Look at that. That was full of leaves. I mean, I don't even want to look at it. Oh. Now, this one they didn't mess with. And one of the reasons they can't stand the smell of boxwood. They won't touch, deer will not eat boxwood.
That's a cool little thing to know.
Mm-hmm. And so they stayed away from the camellia because of the boxwood.
That's a beautiful one right there too.
Well, and that's a seedling I named after my mama. It's pretty, isn't it? It's very faithful. It blooms every year, and it had a lot more flowers, and they've lost most. Well, that's a striped boxwood. It's called Buxus aurea, A-U-R-E-A, because aurea is gold. That's a gold variegated boxwood. That's a Pomeria plant I got from an old nursery that had bought the plant from Pomeria in 1850s. Yeah, this is important to film. It's called Buxus aurea. It was sold by Pomeria nurseries in the 1850s, and it went to Rosemont, Pamela Cunningham's plantation called Rosemont in Lawrence County. And this was in the tangle of woods before it got cut. And luckily I took a tiny little cutting probably 20 years ago. And this is the only survivor.
It's beautiful.
So I need to propagate this.
Yeah.
Buxus aurea. And of course, you can see the young plants are gold.
Yeah. And the old leaves get that nice stripe on them. It's beautiful.
And then some of it doesn't have anything at all until it gets old. So, but you can see it's a lighter color than the regular English box. It's a cultivar of English boxwood, which is Buxus sempervirens. And then here,
oh, it's a little one.
well, not really.
It's not?
It's Buxus argentea, which is the silver variegated boxwood. Argentea is silver, and aurea is gold. And that's also a Pomeria plant. That came from a cemetery plot, the Perrin plot in Abbeville Trinity Episcopal Cemetery.
You could write a whole book on where all these plants came from.
20 years ago. And
20
I
years
think
ago?
The parent plant is still, the parent plants is still there.
Oh, that's from a, you cut it back or something?
I took a clipping.
Yeah.
It just is slow growing. I mean, it's just gotten established. It'll probably start taking off now if the deer don't eat it. But deer don't usually eat. Look what they did.
Well, I wouldn't. I'm surprised
so pretty.
Like we said, I'm surprised they ate this, but.
Well, they've never eaten cast iron plant. They're not supposed to, but if they're hungry, they'll eat anything. And they don't know any better. I mean, that young deer is just out browsing, and he just about demolished that.
Well, that deer liked that cast iron plant. I said that deer liked that cast. You ate every bit of it, didn't it?
Well, that would make sense. Well, here is a mature Dr. Tinsley, and now I think maybe we can find a blossom that doesn't have some browning.
There you
You'll
go.
see what I mean. You'll see why it's my favorite. Look at that.
The white in it, yeah.
That's beautiful. It's Dr. Tinsley. And then this one, it got hit bad. It almost, I mean, that whole branch.
It's amazing the variations in the flowers.
Well, that's Camellia Botanical. That's why they're so loved. This is Governor Mouton. Governor Mouton. And there's the loropetalum up in there. It's kind of devastating, but
and then the frost is coming.
They'll come back, and hopefully by next time they bloom, that deer will have moved on, hopefully to the happy hunting ground. Hopefully on somebody's plate.
Take them out.
Yes. Hopefully on somebody's dinner plate. And then we're in here. Because they were trying to get at things, they just bent down. They're destructive animals. They really are. More tea olives. I smell it. That's good. Here's a here's a classic loropetalum. That's a tree. Huge up in there. And then this is a seedling tea olive grown from a female tea olive. It had olives. This was planted, and this is a unique flower from a female tea olive seed. Only tea olives sold by landscapers are males. And this was a female on a cemetery plot, and it had black olives, planted seed, and every one of the seeds has a different colored flower. And this one is unique. It's not Oleiferagrans aurea gold. It's different. It blooms at a different time, has a different shade. Aurea blooms in October. This one blooms in spring. There's not another one in the world like it. It's unique. It came from a seed.
Cemetery is always a good place to find some weird trees, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
People always underestimate cemeteries.
That's the original white loropetalum. It's what all the gardens that Pomeria has plants in. He didn't have pink, he had only white, and I prefer it. It doesn't get as big, and it's not as invasive looking.
It's the white tea olive?
No, that's loropetalum. That's the white version of the pink loropetalum, which precedes the pink. You probably aren't seeing what I see.
It's a little bit lighter, yeah.
No, come here. It's not lighter, it's white.
Oh, right there. I thought that was this tea olive right here. No. It looks similar to that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I keep...
Oh, you're good.
expecting you to know. That's the white loropetalum, which was...
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
The original loropetalum. That's what Camellia sold. The pink loropetalum dates to about 1970s in the U.S. It was introduced by Professor Ho, who was a friend of mine. And these loropetalums, these truant loropetalums, were his, and he brought from China. He's the one who introduced the loropetalum to the United States.
Well, it went everywhere, didn't it? That's crazy.
These are his, and they're superior to the ones you find in the nursery trade.
Amazing.
Professor Ho was a Chinese national who came to the University of Georgia as a private botanist to do some studies of the Paulownia tree. And he became a friend of mine. He was a good, wonderful man. And he's the one responsible for me growing the Cryptomeria sinensis, the Chinese Cryptomeria.
Up there at the front?
Over there.
We have something at the front.
That's the Japanese variety. That's Cryptomeria japonica. This is Cryptomeria on this side, sinensis, which was one of his trees that I bought from him. And the story is, I was buying Cryptomeria japonica from the Georgia Botanical Garden sale, and he walked up, and I was picking up some little plants, and he scowled at me and looked at me so mean, and I said, Professor Ho, have I done something to offend you? And he said, Cryptomeria japonica. He's just like, oh. He said, he didn't have very much English. So I walked with him, and he said, Cryptomeria sinensis, Chinese Cryptomeria. So you know, there ain't any love lost between Chinese and Chinese. So I was buying a Japanese Cryptomeria, and it offended him, and he brought me over. So that's where the Cryptomeria sinensis originates. I bought the plant that he showed me, and it is very different. And I think it is probably superior. So let's go look at it.
Let's do it. Say that again.
Cryptomeria sinensis from Professor Ho.
Pretty tree.
Well, I can even see the deer. Look at that. Deer apes.
That's wacky deer. That looks a lot like that Norfolk Island pine.
Yeah. It's not related though. That's Cryptomeria sinensis. The Chinese Cryptomeria. Oh, Kramer's Supreme. That's a Kramer's. It's pretty. That's a pretty. Kramer's Supreme.
That is nice.
Now this right here, this is a newly developed magnolia that I think is very pretty. It's a pink banana shrub.
Yeah, you can tell it's a magnolia by the flower.
Look at it. And you can tell by the blossom.
That smells really good.
That it's a banana shrub. It's just a pink one. So this is really rare. This is rare. And it was gorgeous. Did you see what they did?
Knocked out the bottom.
They just ate half the tree.
Yeah, that's pretty.
And I think they quit. It's quit. I haven't noticed any more eats, but of course there's not much left to eat.
Yeah, I know.
See this here? They've destroyed it, and they may have killed this. That may be killed.
Yeah, the sunlight will burn that bark too.
That's right. And then split it when the freeze comes.
Yeah.
So they may have killed it.
Dadgum deer.
Yep. Here's another pretty one. They browse all the under, but you can see this whole plant to the ground would have been like that.
At least you got them above deer height before they killed it all.
Well, what I see in the long term, this may be beneficial because the diseases start in the leaf litter and they come up to the lowest branches, especially if the branch touches the ground.
Mm-hmm.
That's how Camellia T-scale starts and all that. But they say it's good to basically limb up. Yeah. Which the deer have done for me.
So they were doing work for you.
Well, and I wouldn't have done it because I could not have brought myself to cut one.
Yeah.
So, like I say, it may be a blessing in disguise, but it's hard to think about that when you see the devastation.
Yeah.
It's in here. I mean, it burned it a little bit on the edge.
Those are bay trees. Look how big these things are.
So it took down to probably below 15 degrees without hurt. Now what will hurt it is, you see it's already budding. If we get 25 degrees, could kill it.
Might be a little bit better by the house right here.
It might be, but look at that one. It's on the corner and the wind whips around it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see.
I hope to make it.
Yeah, I do too. That's a very rare plant.
What's with these blocks down in here?
Those are not blocks. Those are big, massive granite steps that went to the old steps that went to the part that's been torn away.
Oh, okay.
1804 steps.
Those are huge. How'd they move those?
I don't know. How did they get them from the quarry?
That's a good question. Good Lord.
But those were the steps. The door was right there. See? And they tore away that section.
Isn't it crazy? That was a lot of work that went into putting this right there.
Yeah. Well, I wish I had my section back, but it was torn away in 1949 because they didn't need it.
Yeah. Did you try to girdle this?
I have girdled it. I've killed that section. It was growing up in my light line, see?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I tried to kill it slowly so that it would not fall and take my light line with it.
Yeah.
I hated to
fall
do it.
That way.
But I left that other branch, see, and so what'll happen is once that's out of the way, that big branch on the left will take its place. Let's hope. I think you got some good camellia footage. If you want to edit it and all.
Mm-hmm.
I think you've got some good footage that you could have a complete little spot, camellias or Ballylee or whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I tell you, people go crazy with that. Now that's the tea olive that got cut down by my gardener. But that's not tea, it's tea olive.
Yeah.
And that's what's at the brick wall.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
It's tea olive. Look at that. They're not supposed to do that either. They ate that gardenia. That will probably give it a real bad stomachache.
Gardenias?
Gardenia is poison. But you can see they ate the heck out of it. Now, what I would like to do, but no, it's nothing necessary. We had a little bit of rain, but I don't think it prevented us from running rows with that rototiller. And I have gas, and I have everything that's necessary to operate it. And we will, if you want to, get these stakes up and pile them against the wall.
Okay.
And then maybe do a little plowing or maybe not. What do you think?
Let's do it.